Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you'll enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider are taking some adult beverages and provide you with a behind-the-scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This story is called Everything Must Go by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. My house recently reached critical mass. My garage was bulging with old bicycles and broken car parts. My bedroom closet was bursting with clothes that don't fit, are riddled with holes, and are out of style. Not that they were ever actually in style to begin with. Each drawer in the house was overflowing with pens without ink, dead batteries, broken guitar strings, and coupons that expired back in the 1900s. In the kitchen cupboard, behind the can of yams we didn't use 4 Thanksgivings ago, we had paper plates that said, "Happy First Birthday." My youngest child is now 8 years old. Due to the disarray of my home, obviously, it was time to get rid of some stuff. Actually, that time had passed 3 years ago. But since the invention of the digital video disc and the release of episodes of Miami Vice on DVD, things don't really get done around my house anymore. To avoid having to acknowledge the growing storage problem, I just kept smushing things down deeper into the drawers and stashing things dangerously higher in the closets. My wife, whom I love, finally had it one day. After, while trying to get a towel from the hallway closet, a Monopoly game landed on her head and then spilled out all over the floor. There were houses, hotels, and thousands of dollars in funny money strewn throughout the hallway. That was it. She was done living with a pigsty of a house. We had a couple of choices. We could throw everything away, but there was no chance it was all going to fit in the garbage can. That meant I would have to make a trip to the Salvation Army, or 6 trips to the Salvation Army, which is just more work for me. I'm not a big fan of things like work, especially when the fate of Crockett and Tubbs are hanging in the balance while my DVD player is on pause. The solution was to have a yard sale. Let people come to us, and then offer us money for the opportunity to take our junk away. It sounded like a win-win situation. Even the kids got excited about the prospect of making a little money selling some of their old toys. It was settled. Saturday would be yard sale day. My wife ran around like a woman on a mission to exterminate clutter and junk from our house, while I quickly hid my high school football trophies. Instead of helping to gather things to sell in the yard sale, I spent time making the best yard sale signs ever. My marketing strategy was to use duct tape, cardboard signs, and barely legible Sharpie text to ensure we had a steady stream of junk taker-awares to our house all day long. By noon, our house would be free of unneeded stuff. We would be rich, and I would be back on the mean streets of Miami. That was the plan, anyway. I found out that people who go to yard sales get up early. In fact, they get up considerably earlier than I do. I was woken up to the sound of car doors shutting and voices on my front lawn. People were standing in my yard, and I hadn't even put anything outside yet. I got up quickly and started to cart out our wares so people could buy stuff. After about 35 seconds of my yard sale experience, I was already regretting not making 6 trips to the Salvation Army. No matter how inexpensive I labeled something, everyone wanted to negotiate a cheaper price. I'm not talking about going down from $10 to $8. I'm talking about dimes to nickels. How much are these clothes? Someone would ask. Well, each piece of clothing is 50 cents. How about 25 cents? I would say, sure. I would give up if someone wanted to haggle over a quarter. Hey, they could have it. When they weren't trying to lower the price, they were requesting bags to carry stuff. They were making me feel bad that I wasn't equipped to offer them the choice between paper or plastic. One guy bought a bookshelf for $5 on a $20 asking price. Then he had the gall to ask me for some rope to tie it down to his truck. I wanted to ask the guy, "Do you see a large Home Depot sign on the roof of my house?" One lady came up and was browsing through some of the clothes we were selling. She picked up an old pair of my daughter's shoes and actually asked me, "Do you have these in a size 10? I looked at her and sarcastically replied, "I'm not sure. Let me check with my manager to see if we have any in the back." My son had the hardest time with the entire event. He didn't like seeing our stuff being carried away for pennies. My wife and I kept trying to explain to him that we were planning on throwing the stuff out anyway, so it didn't matter what price things sold for. But my son wasn't having it. Even though he was personally selling toys that were still in the box, which he never once played with, he couldn't part with some of the items unless he got his current retail price or above. Our yard sale customers weren't buying anything at that price, and my son didn't sell a thing. I think he was fine with it. I saw him sneak some of his toys back into his closet, outside the gaze of his mother. When it was all said and done, the stuff I thought would sell for sure, like toys, were still on the lawn. And stuff I didn't think people would touch with a 10-foot pole, like old t-shirts, they sold like hotcakes. Unfortunately, there was still enough junk on my lawn. I was still going to have to make that run to the Salvation Army anyways. I learned that I like most people. I'm just not fond of them when they are standing on my lawn at 6 in the morning, trying to talk me down from a dime to a nickel for a Tupperware bowl. By the way, I'm currently on Disc 4, Season 2 of Miami Vice, just in case you were wondering.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, coming to you live on tape. I hear you shaking some ice there. What are you drinking there?
I wasn't expecting you to get to me so quick. I am drinking cherry vodka and Diet Pepsi.
Ooh, nice. I'm drinking some Clase Azul Gold tequila. Feeling all of it right now. It is very, very, very tasty. I'm a very lucky man to have it.
So I'm excited about tonight because we're going to dinner with our son and his girlfriend. And the reason we're going to dinner with them is they just moved into our apartment complex. So we're neighbors now. And I'm loving that.
Neighbors. Won't you be my neighbor?
I'm loving I mean, I guess we could have gone to dinner with them when they weren't our neighbors. It's just we can walk to dinner.
Yeah.
It's exciting. They're our neighbors. Anytime we get drunk and we walk over to Poppy's, we can just text them and say, do you want to meet us at Poppy's? And they will. And
who doesn't want chips and salsa?
It's like a whole new adventure.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean. It's just like a new chapter, a new adventure. And this chapter is called Gus Moved In Next Door to His Parents.
That's a great name for a chapter.
Isn't it?
Gus moved into the apartment next to his parents.
Right. Yeah. It's a little long and it's not very catchy.
Now, I don't think that's part of the biography when you're like, the Rockefellers, like, and then he moved into the apartment next to his parents. And then he started the Cross-Continental Railroad or whatever. When you say our son moved into the apartment next to us, there's not a lot more to accomplish, right?
Right. No, I mean, so far since he's moved into the apartment next to ours, like this is all one chapter, right? But like paragraph 1 was like he borrowed some shout because he had a stain.
Yesterday, he borrowed some tools to hang a TV.
And he returned the shout. Like that's the good thing. He's a good fucking neighbor. If he borrows it, he returns it. And then paragraph 2 is like he's meeting us at Poppy's for dinner.
Now, he's not our neighbor. Like, we don't want the motherfucker right next door. He's like, a few complexes over. You got to go through a gate to get to us. The perfect amount of separation,
A few complexes would make you think that he's in a different apartment complex. He's in the same complex. Like, we all pay the same landlord. He's just like 2 buildings over.
Gotcha. I'm glad you clarified that because it would have been very confusing to the listeners.
Well, it was to me. And I'm just listening to you. And I was confused. I was like, 2 complexes. I thought they were all in the same complex.
Well, some of us are by the pool and some of us are not. There's the haves and the have-nots.
Well, yeah, no, we were by the pool.
We're the haves.
We're the haves. But we just moved over by the pool.
We upgraded.
So while I was moving Gus, because I don't know, somehow this last weekend, you somehow skated through not helping our kid move.
Yeah, it's the dopest move ever, right? You're like, well, listen, hey, we're going to help move Gus, downstairs and then upstairs and across town. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go race my Porsche that day. So I would love to be there to help my son, but there's just this event is only one day and I got to go.
Yeah, no. So
Deuces.
You got out of it.
I did. It was a great day and I won.
But in the meantime, I'm carrying the weight of 2 parents. So I'm like, okay, I think I would carry that box and dad would carry that box. So therefore I will carry both boxes because I'm going to be your mom and your dad all at the same time this weekend. So I had to carry both boxes down the stairs of his old apartment and up the stairs to his new apartment. So I was doing all of that while you were racing your car because clearly I'm the better parent.
I mean, obviously.
Right.
But only one of us is king of the hill.
Right. But only one of us is the best parent. So
yeah, but I got a trophy for being king of the hill. Fastest Porsche up the hill climb, fastest car up the hill climb. What did you get for helping our son all day? Did he at least buy you dinner or something?
Well, I'm going to buy him dinner tonight.
Oh, that makes sense.
There we go. Okay. So while I'm being the better parent and moving our kid, this other kid, this adorable little girl, she's just walking around and she's not a little girl. She's like a woman. And she's like, hey, do you mind if I just ask you a couple of questions? She's like, I'm so sorry to bother you. And I'm like, no, actually, like, it's a good time to bother me because I'm super tired. I'm carrying the weight of 2 parents right now.
Because my husband
And
is an asshole.
I need a
and
break.
He's racing instead of helping.
Yeah. So she is like, I just toured an apartment. I'm thinking about moving here. And all I can see, right? Because I have kids on my mind because I'm moving our son and I have 2 kids and I'm just a mother. And anytime you're a mother, you see anyone as a kid. So I'm just like, oh, you're a kid who needs some momming right now. So she's just like, the tour was so fast and I got overwhelmed and I didn't ask a lot of questions. So can I just ask you some questions? And she's like, how do you like it here? And I got to say, well, I'm not going to tell you how much I like it. I'm just going to tell you my situation and you can decode if I like it or not. We used to live over there and I pointed to our old apartment. We, instead of just renewing our lease, we chose to move over to this one in the same complex, a bigger one, and pay more rent so we could be closer to the pool because we like using the pool so much. And then I'm like, and in the meantime, I'm back over here on this side by our old apartment instead of by our new apartment. And I'm carrying boxes because I'm moving my son into this complex. So she's like, oh, so you really like it.
Is that an endorsement?
Yeah. She's like, so you would recommend it for a kid? I'm like, I would recommend it for my own son. I'm literally carrying his shit up the stairs right now so that he can be my neighbor. I moved. I went to all the work of moving and I didn't move from here. I just moved.
That's a pretty good endorsement.
That's a really good endorsement. Yeah.
I think you should got $200 off your rent for giving her that advice, right?
No, I know. I was like, and hey, if you say
Make sure it was the Kreiders
that
gave
I
you the
like
recommendation.
referred you, then
Yeah.
I get like $200 off.
Let's
off
do
my
it.
Rent. Yeah. Nothing I do could be this seamless or this positive, though. Of course, there's like an awkward backstory. So it's her. It's this adorable young woman. And she tells me this is going to be my first apartment ever. I'm super nervous, but I'm super excited. And she's just like, it's hard for me to make the plunge. So I really appreciate all your feedback. So I'm just like building it up and building her up. And I'm doing like my mom thing. But she has a young man with her. So they seem very, very, very much together. So I assume, and I'm sure now you can know where my faux pas landed.
I'm not sure yet.
They are a couple and they are looking for an apartment together. Yeah.
Brother and sister?
No, they weren't brother and sister. They're a couple, but they were not looking for an apartment. Like it was going to be her apartment. And I just tried to they just met on Tinder for all I know. You know what I mean? Like this is their first date. And I just sort of like jumped them into living together. Cause I was like, oh, you guys are looking for an apartment together. And I'm like, oh, I don't mean to be nosy, but like, this is like a big leap. Like are you living together now?
I don't think you know how Tinder works. You don't take a person you meet on Tinder on a first date to look at apartments.
Okay.
You just fuck them and leave them.
Okay. So it wasn't Tinder, but I'm just saying they weren't moving in together yet. And I was moving them in together. Like I was.
Nice. Well, you're pro, marriage, relationship,
Right.
So you're like, hey, you're a boy, you're a girl. You guys look at apartments. Obviously, you should be together and have babies and live your best life like us. Meet us by the pool.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday. We're getting fucked up.
So he's like, so I make it super awkward because I'm like, oh, this is like your first apartment together. Like, how cute. I'll bake you a cake. And they're just like, this is not. No, this is going to be her apartment. And she's very much like, this is going to be my apartment. I'm doing this,
Now, why weren't you supporting that kind of girl power?
No, I
You know what
was.
I
I just made.
Go, come on, sister.
No, I was.
You don't need a man.
I just made assumptions. I made assumptions because they were standing next to each other and they were asking me questions together. I made assumptions that they were moving in. That's what I'm saying. That's why it was so fucking awkward because I made the wrong assumption. But then he's like trying to I don't know, make me feel better. So he's like, no, but I mean, like, I'll be here a lot. And that's why I was checking out the gym. Cause he was like telling me how great the gym was. And so, so I assume like you're going to use the gym because you're going to be a resident. And so then he's just like, no, I'll be here a lot. But it's going to be her name on the lease and it's hers. But like,
you should tell me who that is. So next time in the gym, I'm like, hey, yeah, this is residents only gym. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, no, that's where I went next.
I'm like, let me get this straight. You're going to bang this chick in her apartment, use the gym and not pay the rent? Get the fuck out of here, chief.
Well, okay, so then later because I talked to these guys for probably a half an hour. So then later she's like, well, do you feel like it's safe? And I was like, yeah, no, it's super safe. We walk all over the place. We ride our bikes. Like it's super safe. But then I go, well, look, in my age, my circle of people who are my age, we call it the divorce court village because there's a lot of divorcees around here. And she laughs and I'm like, so when you ask if it's safe, I'm like, look, girl, the biggest threat to you because you're 22 and you're adorable is
a 44 4-year-old recent divorcee
Right.
with a bald spot in the back of his head.
Right. So that's why I was like, that's going to be the biggest threat to you. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of like looking at the guy now. I'm like, maybe you don't want to just come over here to use the gym. Maybe you want to commit to this beautiful young woman and move in, because there's going to be like a lot of 44, 45-year-old dudes up here trying to get at her.
Prescriptions to Viagra and
Yeah.
knock on her door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just laughed. It turns out that's not much of a threat, I guess.
Well, maybe it's what they're looking for, right?
She's just like,
A
oh.
little stability. Guy's got a lease BMW he can't afford. You know what I mean?
No. I didn't mean it wasn't a threat because that's what she's looking for. I just meant it wasn't a threat because it's like, and you're not divorced, so you're not like one of those guys. But I just meant like you know how you tell me I'm invisible?
Yes.
It turns out you're not that threatening.
No, I'm sure I'm not. I mean, no one's worried about me. They're like, oh, here he is. He's out picking up dog shit. And, he's getting the mail.
Oh, he's wiping his car down again.
Yeah, he's cleaning.
How clean does he need that car to be?
Does he have a Porsche in this fucking apartment complex? It's so fucking strange. People do look at when I pull out. People are like, "What in the fuck?" I'm like, look out, bro! I got a race to get to, man.
So the bad thing though about living in the apartments is we can't have a yard sale.
Right, and that segues me the story. So the story today is called "Everything Must Go," published July 10th, 2008 in the Santa Maria Sun, and it's about garage sales and yard sales. We don't got a yard anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Which now, instead of having a yard sale and like just, I don't know, getting like $85.
No,
for
I
everything,
just think like
you just throw it all away.
the income loss that we're getting here by not having a yard sale every 5 years, where we made $42 and spent from 3 a.m. till 8 a.m. putting stuff out. Man, it was a real loss. So here's the thing I'll say about yard sales. You put that piece of cardboard out on the corner that says like yard sale tomorrow and 7 a.m.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then you get up early. Let's say you get up at 5:30, it's still dark out, and you're starting to drag stuff out of your garage. Motherfuckers are on your curb 5:01 a.m.
Yeah.
2 hours before it's going to happen. And they're actually helping you get stuff out of your garage and asking you what's for sale. It's super uncomfortable. Like, this toolbox is not for sale.
Right.
This fucking fender off a 72 Mustang is for sale, but not the toolbox. The guy's like, I'll give you $10 for all the tools in that toolbox. I'm like, please get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do it. And you're like, $10? I'm like, no, don't sell my fucking tools. Do not sell my tools. They're not for sale. You're like, but $10 is $10.
We approached yard sales though. I mean, yes, that was uncomfortable when they came in the garage and they started offering us money for shit we weren't actually selling because they were there 2 hours before the yard sale started. And that really did happen.
Oh, fuck yeah, it happened.
But
Every time.
our attitude about yard sales was always like, you're saving me a Goodwill run.
Yeah, but see, in the apartment, it doesn't matter because they have these huge dumpsters.
Well, yeah, no, now we just
So you're
throw
like,
everything away.
hey, are you going to take this to Goodwill? I'm like, yes, I am. And then I go out and I'm like, honey, I went to Goodwill. You're like, you did? You got back super fast. I'm like, yeah, I Goodwill this shit right into the fucking dumpster.
No, I don't like that part. I don't want it to just think it gets thrown away. I want it to go.
No,
to,
but
like,
see, the
Goodwill.
homeless can go to the dumpster later. So I'm still giving it to them.
Well, but we don't like the homeless in our apartment complex.
This is a meritocracy. You got to earn.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want our dumpsters like so filled with like good reusable stuff that it attracts the homeless into our complex.
Oh, you got a point there.
Safety,
Give a mouse a cookie.
right? You're misusing that, but anyway, what I was going to say is
I'm misusing it. So you're saying if a homeless man finds a good sock, he won't come back for a pair of pants or come back for a jacket?
Oh, it turns out you are using it
Hey,
correctly.
fuck yeah, I'm using it correctly. You better
Well,
check
okay.
yourself before you wreck yourself.
All the more reason why I don't want you just throwing away perfectly good socks into the dumpster.
Well,
because
don't sell my tools for $10
it's
any
gonna-
random motherfucker who shows up at our house at
It's going to attract
5 in the
transit.
morning.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't do that. We always approached our yard sales as
You're doing me a favor.
take all of this shit away.
If you give me a penny and
yes.
you don't make me go to the dump, I'm money ahead.
Right.
Now, our
So-
son, the economist, did not feel that way.
No, he would like to haggle. I didn't want to haggle. I would put everything out on the lawn and then I would put like a lawn chair and I would just be like, I'm going to sit in this lawn chair and you take my stuff away. And if you give me $1 or $2, great. Like if everyone feels like this is more legitimate because money exchanges hands, great.
And so you were sitting on your lawn chair collecting, 10 cents at a time, which is great. I was in the garage. People were like, hey, do you have some twine to tie this to my roof? I'm like, I'm not Home Depot, motherfucker. I don't have, what do you think? I have self-checkout and some bags and shit? Get the fuck out of here. It's a goddamn yard sale. Do I have twine to hang on your roof? Fuck off.
So people would come. This really happened. A woman comes and we have a suitcase out and there's clothes out. And she's like sifting through the clothes. And she's just like, how much is this? How much is this? How much is this? And I'm like, I don't know, a quarter. I always answered a quarter, you know? And then she grabs the suitcase and she's like, how much is this? And I'm like, take that suitcase, fill it up with all of the clothes that you want. Give me $5 and get off my lawn. Fill it up. Put some shit in it. Okay, you got all the clothes in there. It's nice and padded now. Now take this lamp. It'll be safe in there. It won't break.
Dude, I watched you do that,
$5.
and she was so excited, and I'd never seen a person stuff so many clothes into one fucking bag in my life.
Oh my gosh. But then I started to get like ideas, right? So then I go in the house and I get some grocery bags. You know what I mean? And I'm just handing people. They're like, how much is this? I'm like, fill the bag. Give me $1.
Well, no wonder people are asking for twine. They're like, your wife's out there handing out bags. You got twine? I got to tie this to my roof. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing?
No, because at the end of this, if I got $10 to go to Starbucks with and you guys took all of this crap and I don't have to go to Goodwill, like great.
No, it was a good plan.
It was just Saturday.
It was just awkward. They just came early. They tried to buy stuff that wasn't for sale. They were practically going through my closet in my bedroom. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Asking for twine. Even if you wrote on something like, this is $1, like 50 cents, you're like, are you really haggling me over a fucking $1? I mean, one time I sold an entertainment center. I'm like, I'll push this to your house because they lived around the block. I put it on 2 skateboards and pushed it. I'm like, this shit's free delivery. Just get the fuck out. They're like, are you really, like, how much is this? I'm like, $5. You can have an entire entertainment center for $5 and I'll fucking deliver it. They're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, do you know how much gas is right now? It'll cost you $20 to get rid of it.
Well, plus lifting it onto a skateboard and pushing it down the street was way easier than lifting it onto a truck and then like driving it somewhere and lifting it off the truck.
The one thing I'll say about the yard sale was everybody wins, right? We were happy to get rid of the shit.
Yeah.
Everybody if you want to get a deal, come to the Kreider's yard sale. We fucking gave out deals. But our poor son, who ended up getting a degree in economics, we aged him. He was fucking 8 years old, just fucking sweating.
Oh,
he's like, I know this Lego kit was $30. You gave it away for 10 cents.
I was putting stuff out and he was like taking it, like hoarding it and taking it back in the house. He's at the yard sale like a customer. He's like picking
He's
things
out
up.
there with a packet of change like, Mom, if I give you 10 cents, can I keep my toys?
No, he was like, because at this point he had discovered eBay. He's like, I'll sell this on eBay. I'll sell this on eBay. I'm like, no, I don't want it in the house while you fuck around with eBay.
Yeah, and you're gonna sell it on eBay for 10 cents. I gotta fucking ship it and get a box. You're gonna cost me money.
He couldn't do it. And
he couldn't.
It wasn't even like if it was
could
his,
not do it,
or if it was his sister's, or if it was ours. He was like the 9-year-old future economist. He was Alex P. Keaton after his time, and he's just like, I can't in good conscience watch you sell it like this. So he was collecting anything that was worth more than a quarter because that's what I was selling it for. If it was worth 40 cents, he was taking it back in the house and listing it on eBay.
He's like, I can get $1 for this. I love it when shit was on the front lawn, just laying there for 10 cents. Someone's like, do you have the accessories for this? Do you have the power cord for this? This work? I'm like, it's 10 cents, dude.
Right. Does this
still
cents. Work? Like, I don't know.
Can I plug this in and try it? I had a guy ask me that. Can I plug this in and try it for 10 cents?
Right. Which it would make sense.
Do you have an extension cord?
Because I've been to.
Can I have the extension cord for 10 cents too? Fuck no. Get the fuck out of here.
Because I've been to yard sales. Because as much as I love to sit on my lawn, like just like Lord of the Queen of the
junk.
Kingdom, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, here, take my shit, peasants.
Oh, you're totally
right. Oh, I do. So I do enjoy that. But as much as I enjoy that, I also like going to yard sales. So I'll have a yard sale on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I'll take the freaking $5 that I earned at my own yard sale and I'll go to someone else's yard sale and I'll buy their junk. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't figure it out, but I'll
is clearly wrong with you.
So I've been to yard sales where it's like our son is running the yard sale. So everything has a price tag on it, right? And because I'm like, it's a quarter, and they're like, no.
It's $25.
Right. They're, I paid $40 for that. It's $25. So in that case, you're well within your right to be like, well, does it work? But when it's 25 cents, 10 cents, you're not well within your right to say.
And that's where I got cross-threaded on every yard sale we did. I'm like, you're here too early. Get out of my garage. If it's for sale, it's on the lawn. If it's in my fucking garage on a shelf, clean,
it's not for sale.
It's mine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're just here early. That's why the garage is even
way
open.
too fucking early.
Yeah.
And the crazy part was, I ended up selling stuff I didn't want to sell. It always happened. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. If you want it, get the fuck out of here.
So not to cut you off, but we got to walk over to Poppy's. It takes us 29 seconds to walk over there.
Yep.
We got to meet the kids for dinner. I got 5 minutes. You fucking embarrassed the shit out of me today at the bar.
I did?
Yes. So we're at the bar. We did a little bike riding today.
Yep.
A little pre-drinking before we podcasted. And we're at the bar and there's this like pineapple liqueur. And everyone is commenting on it because it's this like golden pineapple behind the bar. The bartender has already told us, yeah, the distributor came in, they gave it, it's like a marketing thing. And I'm like, hey, it's working. It's catching everyone's eye. So there's a handful of us at the bar. We're all commenting about this beautiful pineapple. It's the bartender. And then it's like another dude. And he was kind of acting like the owner. Like, I don't know if he was the owner or not, but he wasn't really working, but he was like behind the bar. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right. So he seemed like important. He belonged there, right? So we're all talking. Then he shows us how the top of the pineapple bottle screws off and sits on the table and it holds the pineapple bottle. So if you want to like open and just leave it open and pour, it'll sit on its own lid.
Yes.
Okay. You with me?
Yeah.
Then someone makes a joke about an upside down pineapple. And then someone else is like, do you guys know what that means? Now I was going to like just be like, oh yeah, I know, I've heard of that, right? Like I was going to not play dumb, but also not play knowledgeable, right? Because no one wants to claim that you understand what an upside down pineapple is.
And what does it mean?
Oh, it means swingers.
Yes.
So an upside
It's
down.
the international sign for we're available for swinging.
We're available for swinging. So someone says, do you know what the upside down pineapple means? And the handful of us at the bar, we're all like, yeah, you know, like I've heard of that. You know, I read something about it on the internet. Like we're all playing coy, right? And then you say, in your loudest, most confident voice, you say, you put your arm around me and you say, you like collect me in on it as if we're saying it together. And you go,
Well, that's how it works.
We're very familiar with what that means. And I die. I shrivel up and die. And I go, no, I mean, not in that. And I start like trying to explain it. And then you're just like, I gotta pee. And you fucking leave me and you go to the bathroom. So you just announced to everyone in no uncertain terms
You're available for swinging.
that we're super familiar with the upside down pineapple. Like we're a couple of swingers. We're very familiar with what that means. And you're like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, ha ha. And then you run off to the bathroom. And I'm just sitting there. And I'm like, check, please. And I'm still apologizing and trying to explain it. I'm like, no, like it's a funny story. We actually didn't know what it means. And then someone told us, and it was like this weird, awkward situation. And we're not swingers. And we're familiar with it. And that we experienced this awkward thing, but we're not familiar with it and that we're swingers. And I'm just like explaining it, but like no one's listening. And my face is on fire. I'm so red and I'm embarrassed. And you're taking the longest piss of your life. And she can't give me the check. And then this is the part that like you missed. The guy who I think might be the owner, he goes, oh, he like copies you. He's like, oh, we're very familiar what that means. And then I'm like looking at him. I'm like, okay, now you're quoting my husband. And then he's just like, this is the funniest thing I've heard in this bar in a long time.
I missed all that.
You missed all of that. He's quoting you. And he's just like, that was fucking funny. And I'm just like, oh, was it? Check, please. Please.
Get
Can
me the
I
fuck out of here.
get out of here? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is one of my favorite spots on the bike trail. I will not be here again for a really long time. I'm going to change my hair color. I'm going to gain or lose some weight. I'm going to change my body type before I come back.
Whoops. Sorry about that. I think Gus and Libby are here maybe.
Because our dog is barking like crazy in the background.
Yeah, it's too bad. All right, well, let's raise a glass and
Cheers.
Hold on, everybody. It's not last call yet. We have another story on this episode. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get another round?
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.
Okay, folks, we have one drink down the gullet, which means we need to get our next one on deck. time to enjoy the second story. Bartender!
This story is called Kreider Talks Garbage About His Wife's Car by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. Just the other day, I cheated death. I had to borrow my wife's car to go to the parts store. The only reason I even set foot in my wife's vehicle was because I had disassembled my own car in the driveway, and I had absolutely no idea how to put it back together again. I needed my wife's car to go and purchase the end-all be-all tool that would make my mechanical problems go away. It turned out the end-all super tool that I needed was just a gallon of gas. But that is another story of my mechanical stupidity, and that's beside the point. The point of all this is the fact that I cheated death. I was driving down the road, listening to the radio, happy as could be, when a guy in front of me slowed down for no reason whatsoever. Apparently, the gentleman in front of me thought that a yellow light meant stop. He stopped, so that of course meant that I needed to stop accelerating for the yellow light and slam on my brakes. As I stood on the brakes of my wife's car, a wave of garbage came flying out from under the seats. One piece of garbage in particular, an empty bottle of soda, rolled directly under the brake pedal, limiting the downward travel of the brake pedal itself. Yeah, it was bad. I did what anyone would do and I panicked. I pushed on the pedal as hard as I could, crushing the bottle. This allowed the anti-lock brakes to safely slow me down to a halt directly behind Mr. Stops at Yellow Lights. As I sat there at the light, alive, I took a look around the interior of my wife's car. It looked like a tornado had hit a child daycare center and a McDonald's, then dumped everything in the storm's path directly into my wife's car. Every portion of the car, the seats, the floorboard, the dashboard, were covered with trash. They say that cleanliness is next to godliness. If that is the case, this car was going straight to hell. It looked like my wife had not thrown anything away in about a decade. Toys, clothes, schoolwork, fast food wrappers, every pen and pencil I could never find in the house, and every pickle that was ever taken off a McDonald's hamburger. There were French fries between the seats dating back to the Jurassic era. In fact, when my kids graduate from high school, I'll bet their kindergarten homework will still be under the back seat of my wife's car. Instead of an SUV, my wife had a GUV, a garbage utility vehicle. It's embarrassing to go places and open the door of my wife's car just to have trash fall out. I end up chasing cups and napkins throughout parking lots as they blow away in the wind. My wife, whom I love, is a great many things, but one thing she will never be is an automotive detailer. She just absolutely refuses to clean her car out. When the inside of her car gets so bad that she can't either stand the smell or can't see out of the window, instead of cleaning it, she just trades it in. The next car I buy her is going to be a convertible. Instead of dragging the trash cans out to the curb for the garbage trucks, I'll just park her car in the street. This way, on a weekly basis, the garbage man can come along and pick her car up with the large mechanical arm, turn her car upside down, and dump all the trash out. In my wife's defense, cars are not designed for women. Instead of carpet, my wife needs a rubber floor with a removable drain plug. To clean the interior, she just needs to open the door, pull the plug, and use a pressure washer to hose everything out. If she leaves the kids in the car seats, she can bathe them at the same time. To market to soccer moms, instead of 16 square feet of luggage space, they need to say, this car has 16 feet of rubbish space. I will admit that I'm not the cleanest guy, but I am a car guy. I'll put trash anywhere on earth before I'll put trash in my car. Forget the baby seals and the ocean. This is my hot rod we're talking about. The interior of my car is sacred ground. Once, and you will notice I only use the word once, my wife borrowed my car for a day. One single day. And my wife somehow found the time to leave tissue, eyeliner, chapstick, coupons, and a fast food bag in my car. Now I tried to calmly talk to her about what she had done. She did not feel as if she was guilty of any crime. She didn't see the mortal sin that she had just committed. Talking to her about the idea of not leaving trash inside my car was like trying to explain Newton's first law of motion to my 4-year-old daughter. Just a blank stare. While I was struggling to get my wife to understand what was bothering me, she interrupted me. She said she could not comprehend what I was telling her. I began to get frustrated, and she could see the frustration on my face. She said I looked like she does when she tries to explain to me why she doesn't want me to pee on the toilet seat. What was she talking about? By the way, even though I can't keep my wife's car clean, I can clean up the state. Vote Rob Kreider for California governor.
Okay, patrons, you've been to this bar before. You know it's cocktail hour again. Are we doing shots or what?
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails podcast. What's going on, Mrs. Kreider?
What are we calling this? Jerry
This
was
is
a
called
Malibu
Jerry was a Malibu root beer.
All right, that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Jerry, Sailor Jerry, a little bit of Malibu.
Yeah, mine tastes like a lot of Sailor Jerry.
Diet root
And
beer.
maybe a lot of Malibu. But God bless you, sister. It
Yeah,
tastes good.
yes.
You're liquoring me up and then making me talk like a sailor. All right, so we're going to talk about a story called Kreider Talks Garbage About His Wife's Car. Not the best title I've ever had. August 28th, 2003. It's an old one, 20 years old.
Why'd you go with garbage and not trash? Like Kreider talks trash on his
Oh, I
wife's
know.
car.
The iteration is so good there.
Well, but also people don't talk garbage; they talk trash.
Yeah, so I will say this. Sometimes the Santa Maria Sun would just change my article titles. So if I went back to the original, it probably, well, first of all, I wouldn't have put my last name in it. So I wouldn't
gotcha.
have, I never did that. That was something they did.
Okay.
So I was becoming popular
So
columnist.
you're saying I
and
need to call them and I need to say to them, why didn't you guys say talks trash?
Yeah.
Because that makes way more sense.
Trash talking about cars. It was
Trash
probably
talking.
the original story. And they said, Kreider talks garbage about his wife's car. You know what I mean? So it was an odd choice on their part. But, they gave me checks. They published my stories. I didn't really have a lot of say in it.
Yeah.
Turns out when I tried to have some say in it, they fired me 17
Right.
years later. So.
Well, when you were like, I would like a raise, please. They were
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, I think I'm probably worth a little bit more than this. And they're like, you're not.
They were like, print media is dead.
Yeah, we really don't care about this.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but I'm super popular. This is a good column. I got a lot of following. Sorry, sir. So anyways, I called their bluff and then I was fired. Turns out they were right.
Turns out they weren't bluffing.
Yeah, exactly. I fucking got fired. But I have been fired from almost every writing job or they've gone out of business. So every magazine I've written for or website I've written for, if you want to have a successful long-term print media business or any media business, do not hire Rob Kreider. It will go out of business. I am the death blow to any media.
I don't know why you say got fired though. Like you're a freelancer. I don't think a freelancer can get fired. They just don't. You just don't get picked up again next month.
Yeah, but I had a 17-year run there, or 18-year run. It was a good column.
No, you were. Yeah, you had a 17-year, 18-year freelance,
which is a long time to have a humor column.
Right. So I don't know what you're bitching about.
Well, because I wanted to make it to 20 years.
I know.
That was my thing.
You're so weird with numbers.
I was like, I'm going to make it to 20, and then I'll tell them, fuck you.
Actually, you know what? I shouldn't make fun of you that you're so weird with numbers because right now we're on like our 27th year of marriage. So I know you want to make it to 30.
I do. Yeah, you're solid for at least 2 years. I'm not going to quit before then.
Yeah, I could just do whatever the fuck I want for the next 2.5 years.
Exactly. So this is one of those stories that I don't remember all of it. There was a line in there that I thought was funny. I laugh out loud when I read my own stories, which is really an egotistical thing to do. But sometimes I crack myself up.
Right.
And so part of this story, I don't remember saying it.
What was it?
Where I said I should park your car in the street.
Oh, be a
and
convertible.
just let the garbage man use the arm and just dump your
Yeah.
car's trash out. That's like kind of a funny visual. And I don't remember ever writing that. So that's an interesting little tidbit. Like, ha, ha, ha. All I remember was the truth behind the story. I love you very, very much. But, you use a car like it's just an appliance, right? It's a toaster to you. It has a job to get you to McDonald's and get you to
Isn't
work.
that how you're supposed to use a car? As an appliance?
I use it to win races. So it's a little more different to me. So you use it differently, which is fine. And it's always a Hyundai, and it's fine. We basically buy you a new Hyundai every few years, and you just treat it like shit, and then we just trade it in, and that's the win, right?
Yeah.
So we get along that way. But I have had the opportunity to watch you just absolutely deny a car of any respect,
Any dignity.
just none whatsoever.
No,
just gross. And the things that happen, because I now, to be kind of doting and loving to you, I fill your car with gas because I don't like doing it. So I'm like, hey, if I can do that, say favor to you, I'll take your car and get gas. When I do, I take that opportunity to kind of throw some stuff away, right? And I'm giving homeless people a lot of recycling because they go into the trash can.
Right.
When they see me coming in your car,
Make it exciting.
homeless people are fighting to get near the trash can because they don't even let me take. They're actually pulling it out of the trunk themselves. Like, we know she's got a bunch of bottles in there. I'm like, come get it.
Yeah.
So then I'll reach down into the door handle, right? Because I want to grab.
Yeah, I know. That's where I keep that's where I keep my used floss. You should reach down in there.
So when I put my fingernails into the crumbs of boogers and your floss and it's just a wrapper of gum.
I wouldn't say there's.
I'm just
I would not say there's
dead
booger
skin, whatever it is.
crumbs or dead skin. I would just say
so
used floss.
fucking disgusting.
But I tell you not to do that.
And when I do it every time, and I have that floss in my hand as I'm throwing it in the trash at a fucking dirty gas station. Like, and the homeless guy's like, "That's not a bottle I can recycle." I'm like, "Yeah, get away from me, homeless fucker." He's like, "You're dirty." I'm like, "You're dirty, homeless fucker." He's like, "No, I would never put my hand and grab someone else's floss. That's the most disgusting thing." I'm like, "You piss and shit in the fucking trees."
I look at you're getting angry.
No, I'm not getting angry. It's disgusting.
Well, I tell you all the time. I say, thank you for filling my car with gas. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're helping me out. But then I say, you don't have to clean it out. Like I put my floss in there. Don't clean it out. Just let me do it.
But for your own safety, because this incident happened where a bottle did go in.
Well, yeah, no, get the bottles. But I'm pretty sure the floss isn't going to fly out of the door compartment under the.
Well, you could have a window down, it blows up and pokes you in the eye, and you winch your eye, and
I'm
like,
like, I have floss in my eye. Oh my God.
Nobody wants floss in the eye.
Okay, well.
So, long story short, this is a true story. This shit happened to me. Your car has fucking trash in it. I almost crashed it. I now clean it out.
Let me tell you.
Oh, you're gonna tell me.
Let me tell you a cute little story, though.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about this story where Crider talks garbage about his wife's car.
We are. But I just when you say that I rob all cars of their dignity and I don't respect cars and that I just treat them like trash buckets.
Right.
I want to put it in perspective. Once upon a time, I had a brand new Hyundai. It was brand new. It was parked in the driveway safely in my own fucking driveway. And we had a big driveway. Like when I say it was parked in the driveway, it was not one of these like new fandangled driveways.
You could put 6 cars on
where
driveway.
The back
not
end,
exaggerating.
Yeah, where the back end of your Hyundai hangs out in the sidewalk. Like my Hyundai was like deep in the driveway. We could park like 2 more cars behind it.
In your defense, we had also a large 2-car garage, but you couldn't get your car in there.
Well,
It was full of fucking bullshit race cars and projects.
Yeah. No, because your garage looks like the inside
interior
of my car.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Fair enough.
So
listen, if you wrote a fucking humor column, you'd have a funny story about Rob's shitty garage. But I'm the fucking writer, so that's why this is a story called Crider talks garbage about his wife's car.
Of course,
Sarah talks shit about his
my
garage.
article would say Sara talks trash on Rob's garage.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But although garage
and
garbage
goes better.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, there I was. Sitting in the house, catching up on some Law and Orders. New Hyundai is parked in the driveway, minding its own business. But what you didn't know is that in my mind, I was like, this car deserves my respect. This car deserves dignity. It's brand spanking new. I'm going to change my ways.
It doesn't have license plates yet.
Yeah, I'm going to change my ways. I'm not going to trash this car. I'm just not, right? So I'm just like watching my Law and Orders in the back of my mind.
Were you also bullshitting yourself like, I'm not going to eat pizza anymore as you were eating like half a pizza?
No.
Because we do that.
Well, we do that. But
I think that you were like, I'm not going to eat pizza anymore. I'm going to keep my car clean. I'm going to exercise.
Well, I mean, who knows? Who knows all the thoughts that were going on in my head? But I am going to tell you, one of the foremost thoughts was that I was going to treat this car right.
I got this nice new car. I'm going to take care of it.
So I'm sitting there minding my own business, and you're gone. And then all of a sudden, I hear this horrible sound. I mean, it sounds like metal on metal. It sounds like things crashing in the neighborhood. So I come running out to see if any of our neighbors need help. And you have just backed your new race car trailer into my brand new Hyundai.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't my new race car trailer. It was my absolutely brandy new race car trailer.
Right.
I was backing into my driveway for the first time because I just picked it up.
Right. The reason that I was home alone watching Law and Orders is because you were going to get the race car trailer.
Which was like hours and hours
from
away.
like Tulare or Turlock.
I went to Santa Rosa to get it.
Okay, wherever.
A long ass way.
Like I was able to watch a lot of episodes and think about how nice my new car was and how I was going to keep it nice. And then just like that, in a matter of seconds, my new car is destroyed by the race car trailer, and now it no longer deserves my respect nor my dignity, and I'm just gonna fucking floss my teeth on the way to work and take my water bottle and toss it in the back seat.
And for the record, the race car trailer was damaged as well. The bigger tragedy. We still have the race car trailer. We don't have that Hyundai anymore.
Now, speaking of how we don't have that Hyundai anymore, I want to fast forward about 10 years later. Another little anecdotal story about a brand new Hyundai. So each time the Hyundai gets to be about 5 or 6 years old, and it expires the warranty and it needs a little work.
Or it's full of trash.
Or so we drive it to the Hyundai dealership and they say, "Oh, Criders, you guys are back." And we just trade it in. Just trade it in. So now we've gone through.
We've owned like 9 Hyundais.
Yeah.
This is no joke.
The race car trailer Hyundai has been traded in. I think there's another Hyundai in between that. And now it's yet another new Hyundai. But this time, I'm like,
I'm really going to give this car
This
dignity and
Hyundai,
respect.
like the kids are grown. The kids have their own cars. So I no longer have to share car space with children. Like there's not going to be French fries in the back seat because there aren't fucking kids eating French fries in the back seat. So this really is my car. I'm not sharing it with anyone. I'm not carpooling anyone to school or work. I'm not picking anybody up from swim practice. It's my car. It's my responsibility. It's going to be my private space. It's not going to be garbage Hyundai, right?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days old. I'm at home. You're out. You're out at some work function watching a baseball game with work. And I'm catching up on my Law and Orders like I like to do when I'm home alone. And I'm just living my best life, thinking about my brand new Hyundai and how I don't have to share it with any fucking kids. The kids are out driving their own goddamn cars. Like at this point, Gus wasn't even living with us. Addie has her own car.
And she keeps the interior very clean.
She keeps the interior clean. You're at Chancey Park watching a baseball game at work. Like all's good in the hood. Olivia is about to solve some rape. The bad guys are going to go to jail. Everything's good. You call me. You can't even fucking speak. You're drunk. You call me. Honey, I need you to come. And can you come? I'm like, are you okay? Yeah, no, I'm just so embarrassed because I'm like, are you in the bathroom? No, that's why I'm so embarrassed. Oh shit, security's here. Come pick me up.
This actually happened to me, man.
So
It was Irish whiskey with a pickleback. Did me down.
So I
Took me down.
I am racing to Chancey Park in my brand new Hyundai that was very, very, very clean and did not have any empty water bottles in it, did not have any floss in it. And I pick you up and I put you in it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you got it all out, right? And you're like, yeah, got it all. Like that's why security escorted me because I got it all out at Chancey Park. And you're like, I'm so embarrassed. I said, okay, just tell me if you want me to pull over.
Just for the listeners, I threw up in the seating area all over seats. Mm-hmm. Just fucking barf my guts out
and
in
then,
a box seat.
And do you
outdoor section?
And do you also
all
agree
over
that
a
at
bunch
this
of
point
seats.
that Hyundai was like 5 days old?
If it was that long.
Yeah. So first brand new Hyundai, trailer gets backed into. Down the road, a new brand new Hyundai. I'm on the freeway, so I can't pull over. And you just start puking and puking and puking all in the inside.
No, I remember
passenger.
taking my t-shirt off and using it like a little makeshift bowl.
Yeah.
And throwing up in my shirt and getting all of it in the shirt.
No, it's shirts don't hold puke. Plus, I'm driving, and
I was hoping for the best, man.
You're right next to me with a shirt full of puke, and I'm now going. I'm like dry heaving. I'm trying to drive, and I'm dry heaving, and
tacos and pickles.
Smelled like
Irish whiskey.
God, it was fucking awful.
I remember it being absolutely disgusting as well, and that's a great story. But let's get back to this story.
Okay, I'm just saying. In my defense,
the best defense is a good offense. That's your way.
Well, that's true.
Like, don't talk about how I don't take care of the interior of a car. Let me tell you about all the shitty things you did to all the cars that I own that you bought for me.
Well, yeah, because why would I take care of them after they've been backed
crashed
into
and thrown up in and all those things? So there's an interesting thing about your car. You're a school teacher, and so what you do is you go to school, and then you say to yourself, I'm going to take this work home, and I'm going to grade it for the kids. Work this weekend, I'm going to get it in. Now, I know a little secret that the kids don't know. Once that packet of material goes into the backseat of your car, it is never going to get graded. It is never going to get fucking logged into any kind of book. We're almost into the end of the year here. You got about four more weeks before the end of the year. And I guarantee you there is semester upon semester's worth of kids' work. They worked hard at home, and they did every single problem, and they made their parents frustrated, and they used Google, and they figured it out. And in the end, you didn't even bother to grade it. You just shoved it in your back seat. So then when I go to the fucking gas station, I'm fighting out the homeless, like, hey, I had to sit there with this debate. I'm like, should I just throw all this work in the trash? I'm like, no, I'm an ethical person. This is schoolwork. This is like sacred material. You know, this is the Sanscripts. Like, people need this shit. So I leave it there. I just leave it there. And then you just start stacking and stacking and stacking. I bet you have shit in the backseat of your car right now. I'd fucking bet you money right now that there's shit in the backseat of your car previous years, students that are already in high school. There might be kids that are going to Stanford right now. Actually, no one in your class went to Stanford because they didn't get a good grade because you didn't grade the fucking work. So they're like, I would have gone to Stanford, but I had that 8th grade math teacher who never graded my work, and she's only graded me on the test. And now I've been stunted my whole fucking life. That person could have cured cancer, but you wouldn't grade their fucking papers because the backseat of your car is a garbage can. You're giving me a really crazy look right now.
Because I don't teach 8th grade. Do you even know what grade I teach?
7th grade?
Listen, if you're going to talk shit, get it right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. 7th grade.
I don't want to cut this short, but we've got Ben and a Toyota Corolla hybrid picking us up in 3 minutes so that we can go drink rum and see pirates.
Arr!
Arr.
Let's end this episode.
Hey, matey.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only 4 Spanish dollars. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends!